I think I was going to talk about some Drake shit. No. I was going to talk about the TDE punch shit. Let's go and get into that, right? So let's kind of get into this interview that TDE Punch did, Art of Dialogue. And he basically talked about Drake in the battle. And by the way, I do think that it is important. You know, I do agree with him on one thing. The further we get from the battle, no matter who you rooted for or who your favorite in the battle is, this was an epic battle for the ages. And with that being said is that for the end of time, we're going to have people who were ancillary, who might have been in the studio. Like, even the Meek battle, like, hearing how Drake came up with back-to-back, like, shit, I guess there's no videos for like, probably that session, but hearing other people kind of give their story kind of added to the lore of that entire battle. So there's much more things to be said, right? And over time, I would imagine, you know, Drake doesn't, like, in Drake's camp, he doesn't have a lot of people who talk, because we don't see, like, Chubb, well, we've never seen a Baka. Well, I never seen a Baka interview until he had to defend himself. And so he doesn't really talk. And Chubb's, we don't see a Chubb's interview. Preem might say a few things, right? But yeah. But when it comes to Kendrick, and Drake ain't really talking about it, like he just kind of keep going. Kendrick ain't really talking about it. They just keep going and whatever, even if they're trying to subliminally diss each other, but they're not explaining shit right now. And I think at some point, you know, one or the other are going to have to dig into explaining their thoughts. But until then, we have to rely on these other ancillary people to kind of give us the details or the feeling or the thoughts behind certain things and certain moves, right? On Kendrick's side, Punch is one of the most vocal people about everything. This nigga got an opinion about everything. He's like the music executive version of like Paxton, okay? In the sense of he's always tweeting, right? And he did an interview, and his interview with Curtis King is him speaking about what happened between Drake and Kendrick, how it went left, and then what happened during the battle. And so I actually, you know, before people are going to say I'm anti-Kendrick or anti-Punch, I think it's important that he's given his thoughts and he's as close as we could probably get, to Dot, right? So they're starting with how the beef was started, okay?
Where the hell does it start? Is it the control verse that this whole Kendrick versus Drake situation? Do you know where that starts, or can you even speak on where that may start?
I can give you my perspective.
Okay.
And yeah, to my perspective, that's where it started.
Yeah.
You know, Dot did the whole thing and this competition thing.
Right.
Not a I hate you thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? We rapping, I'm trying to be better than everybody. You should be too.
Right.
So a lot of people took it personal.
Why do you think that was missed, especially when you know this is a highly competitive environment?
I know. How come Akademiks is not watching it on Curtis King's channel? Some whole ass shit. But make sure if y'all not following Curtis King, make sure y'all go check him out. Yeah, man, he doing that petty shit.
It was all the light skinned niggas.
That's why I want to be traded from this team. I told y'all, trade me. My mama named me D''WAN.
Bro, no, I'm joking, but I'm kind of serious at the same time.
No, you're not joking. I'm with you. I agree.
Pusha T was mentioned, right?
Right.
Pusha T tweeted Dot and said, I hear you loud and clear, Kendrick Lamar.
What's the confusion?
Meek Mill seen Dot in the club.
Yeah.
Walked up and shook his hand. Said, I got to get you back. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When my guy Cole seen Dot, they ended up escalating to the fight with him and Puff.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? Then with Drake, he doing interviews like he really upset about it.
He was very upset. That Elliot Wilson was telling.
Right. And like that kind of threw everybody for a loop. It's like, huh? What we doing?
Especially when once again I keep pointing back to the roots of things and that.
Let me go back to that Elliot Wilson interview with Drake where he was talking about it. Drake, Elliot Wilson interview, Kendrick. I remember it right here, right?
Much? Nah, I feel like that's it. It's like, you know, he's the new guy to love, and of course, I mean, rightfully so. He's super talented, you know. But thank you. But he's but he's like, you know, he is the underdog that's extremely hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Ruger Red Thing for Gifted,
and he's doing his thing really well. And that
he's doing his thing really well. You know, he's a nice guy. He's you know, man, can you see all the little subtle little sneak dissing he doing over here?
Verse was. He's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay. And then it was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I ask you, for example, like, how does that verse start? No, do you remember? No, and like, now mind you, it'll go on in Complex and Rap Radar, give it like verse of the millennium and all that shit or whatever. But like,
just hating, right? So a long time ago, he hating, right? So he was hating how hip hop embrace Kendrick Lamar.
Well, you know, Complex to give him verse of the millennium, but you know, whatever.
You know, so he was hating on Kendrick a long time ago.
I'm just saying, it's like, you know, I remember like somebody like asking me, you know, or maybe it was you that was like, is Kendrick Lamar your biggest competition like in this generation or whatever? And I think that Kendrick has like the utmost potential, man. Like, you know, I see Kendrick tomorrow, I'm adapt him. I didn't feel the way about that verse. I get it. I get the moment. Like, you know, he's a good guy. And
yeah, it just seems like Drake is downplaying. It doesn't seem like he's salty.
No, he's salty. He's downplaying it by being salty. You know, he's trying to act like he ain't dissing them, but he has dissing them. Yeah, very passive aggressive, very catty, very sneaky, right? Definitely. Nigga, you ain't slick. Everybody can read in between the lines that you low-key dissing them. But you're thinking that you're uplifting them. You know, he's a hungry guy, you know, he's up and coming, he's a nice guy. A nice guy. What the fuck?
Salty here. It seems like he's downplaying it though.
Like, I know that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love. So it's like, he didn't come on there on some wild, like, I'm in New York, fuck everybody, don't look at me. Like, I'm the king. So it was one of those things, it's like, I almost wish he had come in there on that shit because I kind of lost like a little respect for the sentiment of the verse. If it's really fuck everybody, then it needs to be fuck everybody. It just can't be halfway for the sake of the people. You know?
Now, let's pause it right there. And obviously, yes, Drake did talk about this. There's another interview with Angie Martinez, I believe, and I think he did a West Coast or another interview that he talks about as well. I'll say this. And y'all gonna say I'm glazing. And if I say I'm glazing, it's fine. But I think I'm being honest. But my honesty comes with why I've respected Drake despite, like, I don't know what you think his record is in battles, but I've respected the fact that he's always taken on challenges, right? I've respected the fact that him being a bigger artist, he could have ignored a lot of people and he still battled just for the sake of the sport. So when he says, well, he's trying to look into it as, wait, if there's no meaning or malice behind this, like, what are we doing? This isn't something that could really go on and do anything. But if you're standing on it, we could battle. I think that's what he's kind of hinted at, and I respect that. Now, granted, now, after all of this battling shit, you're probably thinking about it differently. But if an artist is saying, I think he was trying to figure it out then. Yo, Dot, are you trying to get into it with me? Like, I do respect that. That is hip hop, right?
And that's why Kendrick said, this is supposed to be a friendly fade. We should have kept it this way. But Drake, the one that got personal, so Kendrick got personal, right? I don't think Kendrick just... It's competition, right? Just competition. You say, all right, you number one, you on top. All right. Let's see if you really deserve that spot. That's it.
Obviously some of y'all gonna be like, no, Ak, he's just being light skinned, which I can't change your mind.
I'm saying, like, for real, that's just how I feel. I still, like, when it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency. I'm more worried about bodies of work. I'm basically talking about, like, there's one guy who's up every night thinking about how to get better and how to do things bigger. And, that's Kanye West. He's like, he's always gonna be the guy.
Yeah, he's kind of downplaying Kendrick in a sense of saying, yo, I'm having not just only a moment, I'm making the most incredible body of music that everyone's singing from here. You got Backpack or niggas who like lyrics are rapping my freestyles word for word. You have all the bitches in the clubs, they're singing my song. Like, my music is affecting the landscape, like, completely. And y'all are now acting like this guy who did one moment, which is Control, is like on that level just because of one verse, right? Now, granted, historically, and what's that line go? It's funny how it was crazy how, like, one verse could fuck the whole game up or whatever. So that is a thing. But I think Drake was always trying to, like, say, bro, this guy's not on my level or even near to me. And it's kind of crazy that y'all are even hyping it because y'all like this verse and it's a moment that his either body of work or everything else that I've done is competing with this guy who literally the only reason why he's mentioned in this moment is because of this verse. I think.
But what the craziest thing about this is people act like Kendrick wasn't already doing his thing before the Control verse. What are you talking about? Like, they acting like what? Kendrick was already an established artist then. Like, I don't understand this sentiment. Like, he's a up and coming artist now. This is his shot. What? He was already doing his thing when he dropped a Control verse. Like, it's just crazy.
I think that's what I'm coming up with, but I could be.
The disrespect is crazy.
Right?
I just trying to outthink and outdo,
All right, so there's another interview, Drake, Angie Martinez, Kendrick. And by the way, I'm going to finish playing the punch stuff, okay? Or is it...
And the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, this was a West Coast one he did with Big Boy.
Down right now, man. Control the record. People still banging it, man. Where is Drake at with Control?
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went. You know what I mean? And not to discredit it, like it was a good moment. But at the end of the day, it's just like it was like one of those sort of like fleeting like Twitter frenzies that like it was cool for what it was. And I'm just into making like my thing is like I like lasting power. That's my thing. I want you to still be listening to this album in the summer or next year. Where I want this to stay in your car, stay on your mind. It's like not even about the music. You know what I mean? It wasn't even about like the content of it. It just seemed to be about like all the and all the talking at the time. And now everybody's like over it. Nobody plays it. It's just like whatever.
But I think that's because it wasn't a single. And it did what it was meant to. It had people listening to lyrics and excited about hip hop.
And you and Kendrick are good as far as like the albums and doing records with each other. Did that kind of, when you heard your name, did you feel like, man, like that was kind of disrespectful? Or did you feel like, our names were just kind of thrown in there and it was...
I feel like he made a decision, you know what I'm saying? And it was a decision to make. He was like, man, I'm either going to go for this moment because I know it's going to be a big moment, or I'm going to like take heed to the fact that I have real relationships and I'm going to like not do that. Because like, I'll be real, like I thought of doing that before. I thought like, man, it'd be crazy if I just went off on everybody. But it's just kind of like, where does it really get me? Then what?
And what I kind of hear him trying to allude to is he's saying that, like, he feels like Kendrick is like almost cheating his way to this relevancy argument by just name dropping. They used to accuse Game of doing that. Game was known as the name dropper rapper, right? Where, you know, you drop a bunch of more relevant people.
So y'all gonna act like 50 ain't did what he did? Like, stop the selective outrage. Like, nigga, what about how to rob the industry with 50 Cent? Nigga, name drop everybody. Name dropping is a part of hip hop. Like, I don't get it. People get mad when they do hip hop shit. I don't get it.
People's names or just even relevant people at all, and now people are tuned in. By the way, you know who also did that very early on? 50 Cent. 50 Cent dropped a record called How to Rob.
I just said that. I literally just said that. How to rob. Nigga, he name dropped everybody on that shit. Like, come on, man. Like, niggas acting brand new. If y'all are upset about that, then y'all must be new to hip hop. All right. I can't have no conversation with no person that's, oh my God, he name dropped it. Everybody does that. Well, not everybody, but that's not a surprising thing. So what?
And when he dropped How to Rob, he was talking about, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard the record. So I know some of you guys love hip hop here, so you should know 50 Cent, How to Rob. People were super upset at him. Not really upset at him, but like, yeah, I think he had mentioned DMX. DMX had like dismissed him and everything. But he mentioned all these people, right? Mm-hmm. So he said he would rob Kim Porter, Diddy, Bobby Brown and Whitney, Brian McKnight, Keith Sweat, Mace, OEB, Foxy Brown, Jay-Z, you see Trackmaster, Stevie J. Like, he named so many people. DMX, Joe, Timbaland, Will Smith, Jada, Silda Shocker, Master P. And a lot of people, the response from artists, Jay-Z said, go against Jigga, your ass is dense. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent, right? And what that did for 50 was that it kind of validated him. That like the artist kind of heard him and they responded. Who else? Corrupt. He responded. Missy Elliott, she responded. Wyclef responded. And there was something about yeah. Anyway, a lot of people responded. Okay, so I think Drake is almost kind of saying, yo, a nigga just name dropping, but that's like a really weak, cheap way of getting some type of relevance.
Relationships, and I'm gonna like not do that because like, you know, I'll be real, like I thought of doing that before, you know, I thought like, man, it'd be crazy if I just went off on everybody, but it's just kind of like, where does it really get me? Then what? Then every time I rap, people are gonna expect me to be confrontational, and when I'm not, then it's not entertaining, you know what I mean? It's like, it kind of puts you in a box a bit. So
I don't think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. You know, we all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have another album and another opportunity to take the world by storm, so he'll be all right, you know what I'm saying? Even if it doesn't feature, you know, any of the names that he mentioned, which it probably won't, to be honest with you. I don't know who's gonna go back from that and be like, yeah, let's link up, and nah, you know what I'm saying? But he'll be all right, you know, he's a talented dude.
Yeah, just like you and Meek Mill. Yeah. Just like you and Meek Mill. You and Meek Mill battled, then y'all featured on the song. This didn't age well, did it? This didn't age well at all.
Does it make you like not want to collab with him?
Yeah, I'm good right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just about this album and me, and you know, I don't know necessarily if I feel like 100%, like I'm not like, man, send me some, let's work. Like, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really just focused on me and OVO and my side of things. You know, I'm not really like into doing like a record with him now.
So you ain't Kendrick, you will sleep tonight.
Yeah,
that's all I say.
Every night.
I'll sleep tonight.
Okay. All right, so let's just kind of
New York, New Jersey, New York City. I could tell the people want it. Yeah, I said that.
Hey, what's up, now? Pack of Frank in his mouth, rolling on the floor, laughing emoji, rolling on the floor, laughing emoji, rolling on the floor, laughing emoji.
Listen, extra ketchup, extra mayo, the whole bottle of mayo just glazed on his face. Appreciate you, Kevin, with the $5 salute.
To this, so this is about the control moment. We kind of heard how Drake felt in those interviews, and you know, clearly Drake was just saying like, I'm not feeling it because there's nothing real about it, right? Wasn't there another one? Let me see if I can find it. I thought there was an Angie Martinez interview, or maybe with Hot 97. Oh, here we go.
And you and Kendrick are good.
No, it's not. Wait, I thought there was
yeah, it was on with Angie.
Where was his response? Or maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was just the big boy shit.
No, it was Angie.
Okay. All good.
Angie did.
So let's go back to this.
Then with Drake, he doing interviews like he really upset about it.
He was very upset. That Elliot Wilson was telling.
Right. And like that kind of threw everybody for a loop. It's like, huh? What are we doing?
Especially when once again, I keep pointing back to the roots of things, and that you were in a room. Like even Ali talked about it. He's like, he knows how much of a blessing it was to be in an environment where it was highly competitive with not just for artists. Yeah. Anybody who could at any given point in time could be somebody's main artist. Yep. And it's going to be competitive, especially when you got that going.
Thing though, like what we didn't take into consideration is everybody didn't come up that way. So it was second nature for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody didn't have that same thing. Y'all get emotional, but
look, I'm trying to walk.
Still aggressive.
See, he's not gonna let us have no win. Today we not look, we got set back years. Man, but I think about that control, and when I heard it, I was like, damn it, this always needs to be an element of hip hop culture. Anything involved, I don't care if it's mainstream rap, whatever.
And that's a good thing that he brought up. That's a part of the culture. You know, it's just like in middle school. Whoever was the best rapper, whoever was the best freestyle rapper, somebody else would try to take their spot. Like it's always like that. It's like basketball, right? Whoever's the NBA champion one year, there's gonna be somebody else that's gonna try to knock him down. Like, so I don't understand why he got so emotional with that. Take that as a compliment. Take that as a compliment. Instead of bitching and complaining, take it as a compliment and compete. But he want to be all, you know, he want to be Drizzy, BBL Drizzy.